Well, howdy there. This is 64, Stream 64 that is. And today I'm going to be working on my C++ library that lets you write programs that interface with Twitch chat. So I used this to make a little chat bot. And it's really basic right now because we don't support a lot of the Twitch specific features. And I'm going to be working on adding some of those features. So maybe a little bit of a background. If I go back in my notebook, you can get to my notebook, by the way, through the link below. A couple streams back, I had made this drawing sort of to illustrate the architecture of my library and my bot, and sort of let people know, given a name, like kind of where it fits. So if your operating system socket interface is at the bottom and then the app, your bot is at the top, the Twitch messaging interface is right below the app, so it's pretty high up. It uses a lot of lower level libraries that I've developed on stream in the past, so you can go back through my YouTube videos if you're interested in any of these parts. But really briefly, I have a library called System Abstractions that lets me write code cross-platform. Oh, hey there, Multiple Pixels. I'm going okay, how's it going? The System Abstractions library kind of lets you write code that's cross-platform, so you don't have to have like differences if it's on Linux or Windows. And so I'm using this network connection class, which is an abstraction for sockets. On top of that, I have a class that does transport layer security using librsSL. So that's doing the encryption and all that to make it secure. And then I have a little adapter because my Twitch messaging interface, the class actually, has a slightly different interface for network connections. And so this Twitch network transport kind of is an adapter to plug between them. So I'm going to be working pretty much at this layer today, adding new features. I'm not going to be using MathBot 2000. I'm probably just going to be doing this in my unit test framework. I do test-driven development. And then maybe later I was thinking of making a second bot that basically just collects information and possibly use that in the future to like basically use my own bot instead of stream elements to capture things like when people sub or when they start following or other things like that. But mostly I just kind of want this Twitch messaging class to support all the features of Twitch chat so that other people can make use of it. So some of the things missing right now are whisper support. So both sending and receiving whispers. And then notice commands right now are not being interpreted. And then actually, I hope to get to this today, so not just save for later, but to do it today. By enabling what are called IRC extension capabilities, we can support these extra sets of features. So there's 3 sets of capabilities features: tags, commands, and membership. So membership, I might actually do this one first. And because it's really simple, it just enables receiving extra messages when people join the channel or leave. And I guess also when people get modded or unmodded. And then probably do commands. Actually, I guess I'm going to do this in reverse order. Commands after membership, so that just miscellaneous things that are Twitch specific. And then tags, that's a little bit more involved because it's going to add an extra chunk of data for each chat, and that has things like the badges, color, and other stuff that you normally see in Twitch chat. And it's interesting, but it'll break my other code, so I'm going to do it last, I think. So whisper's pretty easy, I think. We'll do that first. So doing test-driven development. So I have a fixture set up here called messaging tests. And what that is a common set of setup and teardown instructions for a bunch of tests. And right now we don't need to do anything in teardown, but in setup, we're configuring our Twitch messaging interface, which is right here. And so all these tests kind of have that same setup. This test_f macro defines a test. And I should have said before, I'm using the Google C++ test framework. So you get that if you clone the Google test repo from GitHub, and then you include gtest.h. And if we just look at one of these tests, these macros like expect and assert are actually doing the tests. Difference is assert will stop the test early if it fails. Expect will just print an error but continue. And so you get a lot more information if you use expects. You only really want to use asserts if it doesn't make sense for your test to continue if it fails at that point. So yeah, I have a bunch of things here integrated. So I'm using VS Code, and a couple of the extensions I have going are C++. That's pretty much mandatory if you're going to do C++ and VS Code. But I also picked up this recently, CMake Tools, which is really neat because I use CMake, and it let me integrate my other parts of my workflows back into VS Code. So for example, to run my test, all I need to do is hit this button, and it runs all my tests using ctest. And it adds a new tab here, CMake, and lets me build. So it's pretty cool. How come I guess I didn't pin the document I was on. I hit back. Oh, there we go. Let's pin it by double clicking there. So yeah, that's basically an intro. Please feel free to stop me and ask me questions if you don't understand something. I'm going to close this for a bit. I'm going to be adding a new test. So test-driven development is all about writing the test first. The test is not even going to compile, let alone run. So, but you're specifying what the code should do when it's done. And then once you do get it working in the future, it becomes part of your suite of things to double check to make sure everything is still working. Hey there, Alien Monkey. Is that like the squid from beyond? Is that like Cthulhu coming in to grab me? And that's just EV test, shouldn't it? So we'll say, let's do the receive whisper first. So yeah, as I was saying, the test when it's done becomes part of like what you call your regression test suite. So if you have a bug that comes in, like you accidentally add a bug, hopefully your test will catch it by tests that used to succeed will now fail, and then it kind of gives you a hint that you have a bug. And then if you find any bugs in the future that aren't caught by your tests, it's really important to go back and add a test to catch the bug. So if on stream I end up finding a bug, hopefully if I do the right thing, I'll be making a test just to demonstrate the bug, and then I fix the bug. So for example, this last test I think was because of a bug. Yeah, I think it's because we were always requesting a command capability even when it wasn't supported. So this test went about saying where, well, it's going to request the command capability, but then we're pretending that Twitch doesn't support it, and then we're expecting that it logs in but does not actually request the capability. It just ends without requesting it. So yeah, that's an example where before it would actually request Twitch TV/commands even though it wasn't advertised here. So anyway, I guess that's enough of intro. We're going to, I don't like writing things from scratch if I have similar code, so I'm going to copy a similar one. How about receive message? So receiving a whisper is going to be similar to receiving a message. We'll just copy that test case in here, and we'll switch it a little bit. So have the pretend Twitch server simulate someone else sending us a whisper. Okay, so I believe it's just whisper, although I need to double check that. So where did I put? Well, I think my mic is not sitting correctly. There we go. Well, maybe it's a little too high now. I'm not really liking the way I have my mic set up. Where did I put this? Names? Oh, no, it was in research. I rate a Twitch bot. And yeah, I had, oh, actually, you know what? I should put the link here. It's down here, right? No, up here. Pull this out to a new window. Bit louder, yeah. It's, I have to speak pretty much right up against the mic, which is by design because it's pretty noisy in my house sometimes. So, but if I don't have the mic position right, the volume's not good. All right. I wanted to look at. I think it's on our commands. Maybe Whisper is the one that wasn't really documented very well. Yeah, they don't really have Whisper. In fact, do they even have a search here? I have a search. I think I have this logged somewhere from before, so let me just briefly look at this. Oh, crap. Okay, good thing that was an old token that it's not valid anymore. Shoot. Just looking through some old logs, just to see if I can find an example of where I tested Whisper. Just a minute. Actually, let me apologies, but let me open this off screen for a second. I can have it search my log files here. Okay, here we go. I can show. No, I'll obscure the innocent. Okay, so bringing it back on screen. If I were to open this in a new file, it had like username.tmi.twitch.tv whisper, and then right, that should be the bot's name, and then the final argument is the actual message. Hold on, I need to check something else. Just a second, I'm getting a little confused. I'm a little slow today, sorry about that. I'm just checking some stuff off screen. Let's be back up in a second. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Just verifying some stuff. All right. So that's the format that we expect. So yeah, so there's no hash there. And then there's just the message there. So await whispers. So we're going to add a new collection here called whispers. There's no channel. It's just the user who sent it. And then the message. Okay, what was the name that we're giving our user? This one. Okay, so that's gonna mean it's gonna be there, right? Okay, so like I was saying before, I'm done with the test now, but it's not gonna compile. So we basically work backwards until we've completed the code and it passes. So one step backwards is that our framework is missing some of these methods. So I had an await messages. Now we need to add an await whispers. How do I expand all for just one function? I don't know. Okay. So I've explained this in past streams, but this is a basic pattern in modern C++ to wait for something when there are two or more threads and the thing happens in another thread, is that you'll have a condition variable. In this case, it's called wait condition. And then we want to wait for some condition to be true, and the condition is expressed as a function that returns true if the condition has happened, false if it hasn't. So it's called, in this case, this construct, this syntax is lambda expression in modern C++. This is the capture list. So it's sort of like the state that goes along with the function object. This is the function. And basically, the wait condition, we sleep until this becomes true. And how it wakes up is another thread will notify this condition after changing something that would cause this to now return true. And then two other things is if you use wait for instead of wait, then you have what's called a timeout. So you can give up after a certain amount of time if it's still false. And then you have to have a mutex to protect against the two threads hitting the variables at the same time. Okay. This unique lock you need because when wait for calls, it's gonna basically unlock the lock, then go to sleep. Then when it wakes up, it grabs the lock again. So unique lock is a construct that automatically grabs the mutex, but then lets you unlock it and relock it. And at the end, when we leave this function, it automatically unlocks if it's still locked. All right, so whispers is going to be kind of like messages. So let's go to messages and add here. I think I'll keep the same message info though. Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's see what message info has. Actually, I think I'm going to change this to be a whisper info, which isn't defined yet, so we'll have to define it. But I want to work backwards in resolving all of the things. Okay, I guess we have resolved everything except for that type, right? Yeah, so let's go and make a copy of message info and call it whisper info. So the difference between a message and a whisper, it's not received in a channel. So there's no channel. All right. Now that awaiting for it is only one half of it. The other half is we need to actually receive it. So messages are received through this API. So we're going to add another API called whisper. Yeah, getting off to a rocky start today. Apologies if you were watching earlier. I guess this happens if I haven't streamed in several days and I get back into it. I make mistakes. Right, okay, so yeah, this is the other side of it. One side was waiting. This is the part that actually changes the condition. So the condition was that whispers changed in its length and its size. And pushing something into the end of the whispers is going to change it. So two things. We want this IntelliSense is actually interfering. I should move the cursor off to the side when I'm explaining. Oh, not there. Where's a safe place to hover the mouse? On the left side, I guess? So, yeah, okay, we'll do the left side. So here's the condition we're changing. The condition variable is what's used to coordinate with the other thread, so we notify it we're waking up that other thread. But there's a potential race condition if you just have these two lines alone, so it's important to get the mutex, the same mutex that the wake condition is using to, locking when it wakes up. And I use lock guard here. It's sort of like a lighter weight version of a unique lock. It's one where it locks the mutex and doesn't unlock it until it's destroyed. So basically until the function returns, the mutex is held locked. This is just serializing or putting in sequence that all three of these lines are done before the other thread wakes up, so that both threads aren't touching this whisper simultaneously. Anyway, maybe too long of an explanation. Okay, so whisper, it's going to tell me it's declared overriding, but there's nothing to override. That's because these are implementing an interface that the Twitch messaging specifies. It's this user interface. So we're going to go to that, and we're going to add the missing function. Oh, thanks, Raleigh Monkey. Oh, maybe I should, while I'm thinking about it, put in a plug for something. How do I show that without showing personal info? Okay, I'll do it later. I was going to give a plug for a YouTube video series that I wanted to start up about an introduction to C and C++. I need at least one viewer to comment, though, on my first video to see, like, I just need to get oriented in was the video useful or not useful or good or bad, because I don't want to make a whole chain of videos and have them all suck. So I want to get some feedback early. I'm hoping to get some comments on the first video before I make the second one. So if anyone here is like new to C++, I think I have a link to YouTube below. If you go to my channel and there's like an intro to C++, there's a single video there. Do me a favor, and if you have some time, take a look at it and give me a honest critique. Okay, this is called when the user receives a whisper. Okay, it's no longer sent to the channel, right? In my opinion, what may seem too slow for me, maybe just the right speed for a beginner. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hey there, not saying. As long as you don't teach C++ as C with classes. Well, the first video does. I'm starting with C because I kind of feel like C is a nice foundation from which to teach C++. And I think I was looking to make a segue, like I'll say something like, now that you've seen how it's done in C, here's how it's done in C++, and feel free to mix them. Just, yeah, I guess I do need to reinforce that C++ isn't just C with classes, it's a bunch of other concepts. All right, so we have whisper specified, and so I think it'll build now. It just won't work. But this is what we want, test-driven development, right? And I think I'm still more comfortable running the test from this command line. Although I'm slowly getting used to moving into Twitch. Yeah, static cast. That's right. Actually, I hardly ever use static cast anymore. I've gotten back into the habit of using C-style casts instead of static casts, but maybe that's a bad habit. Okay, so Twitch tests. And we can narrow the filter down to just re-see whisper for now. So this is what I expected. We have the test framework waiting for whisper, and we expected to get one, but we didn't. That's what that's basically saying. It's nice. Google Test Framework's nice, and it tells us where to go. There was almost a crude joke there, but yeah, where to look back into your test framework. And once I have my tools better integrated, what I'd like to be able to do is have, if I can run this in VS Code, but I can show you. In fact, I already have it set up here. When it gets to the end, I can't double click that and go to the line. And I was looking online to figure out how to do that, and I haven't figured it out yet. So right now I have to either from here or from here, I have to get the line number and then like go there myself. Anyway, that's where I expected it to fail. So in order for this to pass, we have to get something in this whispers. In order for that to happen, obviously we have to have whisper called. So the problem is that the Twitch messaging isn't calling that whisper function, which makes sense because we just defined it and we're never using it. Oh, you know what? I never went through the announcement that I had. Oh, that was interesting. OneNote just completely crashed. I don't think that's ever happened to me. Alright, anyway, we're back up. OneNote. So yeah, my announcement was I did a lot of off-stream refactoring of Twitch messaging. So if you were watching my stream from days back, this class was a lot uglier, especially in the CPP file. So I've cleaned this up quite a bit. The biggest thing is I had a bunch of ugly switch statements before that are now replaced with tables. So, for example, I used to have a big switch statement in my worker thread about what to do for each action. Now it's just a table and each action, and a performer is in its own function. So the worker thread is pretty basic now. It's just you loop, and then without holding the mutex, you process any timeouts that might have happened, then hold the mutex, and you go through and you perform every action that's waiting to be performed. And then if there are any actions awaiting a response, we're going to do a short wait. And that's only because the timeouts don't go directly to the operating system's time. They go through a timekeeper interface. And I don't have a nice wait for my timekeeper interface. So basically every 50 milliseconds I wake up and pull the timekeeper again. So yeah, this perform action now just uses this table. And I guess the most complicated part of this table is the action performer is a pointer to member. So you get this sort of bizarre syntax. It basically says that action performer is a pointer to a method, that's what the parentheses mean, of this class, which takes an action, R value, and returns void. So it's sort of hard to read, but when you see : : it's pointer to member. And then the other bizarre syntax is when you want to call such a pointer to a member function, it's this arrow star. And the way this is read is inside out. So using this iterator, dereference the iterator, and go to the second. So it's for a map, the first is the key and the second is the value. So go to the value, which is a pointer, and then actually I think these parentheses here are extra. I don't think I need those. Anyway, maybe I'll keep them for ease of read, because you take that and then dereference it, And then using this pointer, call it and pass these arguments. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. It is pretty complicated, but it lets me, it's kind of like binding this to a pointer to a function, which is this, and then calling it. Yeah, so that's for actions, and then one of these actions is process message receipt. That's what we're modifying today. So this now is a lot cleaner too. I had another switch statement where, or it was a bunch of if then else's, right? So if the command was 376, do something. If it was ping, do something else. Now it's a nice table, and we can simply add whisper here. Handle server command whisper. I don't have to touch anything else here. Just have to make sure my spelling is correct. And then let's go to this cap one and we'll add it right below that. We'll copy my documentation. Second attempt. This is called to handle the whisper command. Okay, so commands like cap have an even deeper level where it depends on what actions we're awaiting. So if we're awaiting login, or if we're maybe this login isn't the right name, but two different stages of login. This is the beginning of login, and this is when we're requesting capability. So depending on what part of login we're sitting at, we'll process the message differently. So I think what I'll do, we don't need that next level for whispers. It doesn't really matter what state we're in. I'll just do the same thing as when we receive a private message. Okay. Let me refer back to the test. So parameters, these are the parameters, right? We should expect two of them. Who came from and then the message. Right, so if we don't get two parameters, or if the first parameter, I think this is two because it used to be a channel and it was always hashtag something. So we'll say less than one because it's now the person who sent it and we need at least one character. All right. Right, the message prefix we expect to be the nickname of who sent it, right? Oh, right, that's right. This isn't who sent it, this is us. This is who sent it, but we only want this part of it. So this being the whole prefix string, we're just looking for that character and then grabbing everything to the left of it. Basically the same as what the private message did, which means I should probably pull that out as another function. Let's do that. So we'll have something like const auto nickname equals extract nickname message prefix. And then all this code will go into there. Right? No. Well, some of this substring part, but not that part. Yeah, where to put it? How about it's a helper, so let's put it in the anonymous namespace here. That's not void, it's string. Extract nickname from a prefix. Maybe I should say that. From prefix. Say this method returns the nickname portion of a message prefix. This is the message prefix from which to extract the nickname. the nickname of the nickname portion of the prefix is returned. Okay. Yeah, what do we return when we don't find that symbol? I think we should return empty string. Then, like I said before, we don't need that part. We're simply returning this, and instead of message prefix, it's just message. I mean, prefix. Hey, Butcha15. I hope I said that right. Do you enjoy coding VS Code? Have you ever had any troubles like IntelliSense suddenly stops working? I do enjoy coding in VS Code because it's the same experience on Windows, Mac, or Linux. That's my number one thing I like about it. In fact, I like that part of it so much I'm enduring problems with IntelliSense and other things not working. The thing that really helped with IntelliSense were two things. So when I set up to do the streaming, I was already familiar with CMake, so I use CMake to define the build system and where all the include paths are. And so the CMake tools plugin really helped the VS Code figure out not only how to build, configure and run CMake to build things, but also it helped with the include paths. The other thing that really helped, which is kind of a hack, is in, I think it's C++ properties, having this magic in there, include path and basically every directory. I think it's a hack because it's way overkill. It's going to search every directory to find include files. But that really helped because basically it finds every file. Even if you didn't have the include path set up correctly, it'll still find it. But since I did that, and I haven't had very much trouble with IntelliSense. But if the little things here and there I do kind of endure because I really like that I can switch to Linux and everything is the same. Okay. So we're going to use this method, right? And then that replaces all this stuff down to here. And I can kind of do the same thing for some of this older code too. All right. Okay. So this is going to become Whisper. And we were going to use Whisper info. Whisper info. And there is no channel. It's still parameter 1. Parameter 0 is just our own nickname. I think we can just ignore that because it's always going to be us. We're never going to receive a whisper meant to someone else. Hello there. Let's see. What should I say? Wef? Does extract nickname from prefix take reference or copy of the string? Oh, good point. It can take a reference because I'm not needing to modify it locally. I usually do that, but must have slipped when I wrote that. Yeah, should take just a constant reference. Okay, now let's try it out. So, build. I'm gonna run it here. Cool. So now we can receive whispers. How do we send whispers? Let's make a new test for that. Send a whisper. Similar to send a message, right? So we'll expect there to be an interface like send whisper, and we'll be like who we're sending it to. I was using 1126. These are made up Twitch names, by the way. We don't need to join a channel either, do we? Log in. Or how about we'll say just log in. There's no need to join any channel in order to send receive whispers. Pretty sure that's true. It's channel independent. So I don't have to join a channel. Okay, now here we're getting to some of the magic stuff around sending whispers. I think I read it's intentional by the Twitch people to kind of discourage it. So sorry, Twitch people, but if you really don't want us to use it, you can just turn it off, I guess. But the way my research showed is to do this kind of a thing. Is that we wait for... we don't wait for. When we send a whisper, it's a message to the JTV channel of the form, either .w or /w, then the person you're sending it to, and then the message. Pretty sure that's what format it'll be. If this is an incorrect specification, we'll find out later when we try to write a bot that sends a whisper, it'll just break, and then we'll go and fix our test. But I think that's right. Okay, so send whisper is not defined. It'll be near send message. And oh, I guess we have lots of functions called send message, so VS Code was like, which one do you want? So I guess here's an example of where IntelliSense kind of fails. It's sort of like, it doesn't know exactly which class send message you want to go to, so it went to every single class, including Windows APIs, where send message is also a name of something, and it says, which one do you want? I'm like, yeah, I want that one. And I kind of want the declaration of that, because we're going to add the declaration of send whisper right next to it. Very similar to send message, only we're not sending it to a channel, we're sending it to I guess we're going to say nickname of the person we're whispering. This sends a whisper to another Twitch user. I wonder what happens if you whisper yourself. I wonder if you even can, if it just gets ignored. This is the nickname of the other Twitch user to whisper. All right. So go back to where it was defined. This send message was defined, and we'll have the same kind of thing. Only I think to do TDD correctly, I should have it do nothing, just to make sure this builds. We'll see the test fail, and then we'll make the test pass. Hey, not Zane. Been a while since I visited the stream. Breakdown on current project. Sure. Oh, you can whisper yourself? Great. That's good to know. So, a couple, what was it, 3 or 4 streams back? Actually, I guess it's been a while. September 25th. I started, well, I kind of transitioned from working on my own web server, web client, to I wanted to make my own Twitch bot. So I started a Twitch library. And it took a few streams, but to spare you the gory details, I got to this point where we have a class called Twitch Messaging, which is like tmi.js, but this is a C++ version. And I wrote a bot on top of it. And this does all the gory details of connecting to Twitch chat. And so it doesn't do all of IRC, but it does the parts that Twitch requires. And it uses some of the classes I wrote in previous streams to do encryption and socket interface regardless of Windows, Linux, or Mac or whatever. And some glue logic in the middle. And I don't know if you saw MathBot 2000 from like months ago, but now it's in Twitch. I can actually run it. So let me do that just to show you guys. So first, let me double check that I have the right room set up. Where did I put the room? Okay, here. So it's going to go into into our room. Good. So if I say mathbot 2001, and then I give it the path to where I put my token. There we go. So let me answer it, can get the correct answer. So you can see it's sort of illustrating through my diagnostics all the stuff that's sent and received. And so you need to rewrite your math bot. Yes, please rewrite your bot that answers my bot. You could actually use WebSockets. So Twitch has a WebSocket API to Twitch chat. The problem is you can't just pretend to be anyone. You have to pick an account. So you could, I guess you could have your bot log in as you, or you can do what I did and just make another bot account. So to people who haven't seen it before, this is just a toy bot that every couple minutes it'll ask a math question. Like this time it asked what is 2 times 3 plus 40? And the first person to answer it correctly will score a point, and if people answered it incorrectly up to that point, they lose a point. And it's just something to illustrate how you make a bot, and yeah, that was pretty much it. I'll let that run for a little bit while we work on this stuff. So yeah, that's basically what you missed not saying. I switched over to doing this Twitch messaging interface. And I think I'm going to wrap it up this streamer next and move on to game development, which is going to be interesting. There we go. So I'm going to answer incorrectly. Someone else can answer correctly, and you can see what the bot does. So the bot already marked me as a loser and not saying as the winner. And there you go. So you got a point, and I lost my point. All right, sending a whisper. Oh, I forgot to run the test. Open another shell since our bot is using that shell right now. And yeah, so I have it set to wait. Let's see how long. Where did I put that? So the cooldown between questions is between 45 seconds and 180 seconds, and there's 15. You get 15 seconds to answer correctly right now. And see if I answer, but you've already given the correct answer. It already has internally declared you to be the winner. It won't, even though I said the correct answer as well. I won't get a point because if it did, it would be sort of everyone would just parrot the right answer, right? So you get rewarded for being correct and the first. It was like that when I had the bot in the web server. It's just now translated over to Twitch. All right, so this was going to run Twitch tests, and we're going to see that the whisper send fail. Send whisper because we haven't implemented the code yet, right? So the mock server expected to see the line which sends the whisper, and it didn't. It's because we're not doing anything. So let's do something. So I have the logic in this class separated. So the API receiver here just queues an action to be performed by another thread. And that kind of simplifies the multi-threadedness. It makes it thread safe in that this post action, it doesn't finish sending the whisper. It lets another thread do it, and it does it in a nice queued approach. Yeah, math god. Yeah, now with the bot integrated with Twitch, people can't just pick random names and be anonymous. Okay. So it's not send message what we want send whisper. And it's not channel, it's nickname. So now send whisper won't be defined. And send message. Send whisper. Oh, and anyone who's watching, all of this code right now is open source and under MIT license, and links to the GitHub repos are, so there's a main link, and then that's the top level repo. And once you get that, the rest of the repos are in this get XML, and you can either get them yourself individually, or I wrote a tool called Mugget, which I use like this. You say Mugget select main, Mugget pull, and it will clone everything you don't already have. So send whisper. So that will build, but it still won't work because we don't have a action performer yet, so we need to add one. Send whisper, right? And that won't work because that's not defined yet, so we need to add one. See, maybe I need to turn off MathBot because no one wants to play with it. Okay, one more. 80, that's 115. Then I guess we'll call it. Well, probably not. Zane has 2 points and I only have one, so we'll say Mathane's the winner. So we'll close down the bot. Bye-bye MathBot. All right, performing a whisper. Send whisper action. It's going to be jtv dot w space, then the nickname, and then the space, and then the message, right? Let's find out if I got it right. My test should tell me. We did get it right. All right. So now we have sending and receiving whispers done. I think that's a good point to check it in. Well, you won using your bot, so I'd say you're now you're the second time winning. This time without your bot. You might have won before without your bot. I don't remember. Right. So, oh, by the way, back when we were looking at where was it? Whisper. You might have been wondering why there's no code here. This is the specification of an interface, but it's one where I wanted the methods to be optional. So the idea is that your bot would implement this, like this would be the base class, and you'd implement the interface. But you don't have to override any of the functions you don't care about. So if you don't care about whispers, you would just not override that. And the default would just do nothing. So it does, all the defaults do nothing. You just override the methods you care about. That's why these are empty. If I made it like pure virtual like this, then you would be, if you're in your bot, you're implementing this user interface, you'd be required to override it, login. This is more of a friendly way of saying, well, you don't have to if you don't want to. The default will be just do nothing. So in fact, MathBot 2001 implements this. And we added Whisper, and we're not overriding it in MathBot 2001. So that bot won't do anything with whispers. It'll end up going to the base class method, which does nothing. All right, so messaging. Add, send, receive, whisper support. I didn't change anything else except for the room in MathBot 2001, right? Let's see. Yeah, okay. So the reason I don't check that in is I don't want people to just clone my code, run it, and all of a sudden be spamming my channel. So you have to do two things if you want to reuse my code. Pick a channel, so you have to opt into the channel you're going to have the bot run in. And the second thing is when you, I don't know if you noticed, but when you run the bot in the first place, you have to have a token. And I'm not going to show you my token because that would be stupid of me. You have to go through the process of getting an OAuth token, for your bot account, and that's how your bot authenticates itself. So if you wanted to reuse my code and make a bot, those are the two things you gotta do. Get an OAuth token, put it in a file, and then, like I did, give it the path to the file, and then you have to have picked a room, a channel to have the bot sit in. All right. What was next? Relay notice commands. Okay, so authentication failures are signaled with notices. Other things we might get on a notice are if the room mode changes, I guess, or maybe we get that when we enter the room, and then whether hosting is turned on or off, or whether bans are successful or not. So really, I would like to have a test case for each of these, but some of these are kind of tricky because I would have to actually try to ban someone in my own channel, or I'd have to be watching a channel where someone gets banned and collect a log of that. And I haven't, actually I do have logs of other streamers where people have gotten timed out, so maybe I'll look at that later. But maybe for now I'll just focus on this one, because that's an important one. Did I write my plan in entirety before starting? Well, I do that day to day. So this plan I wrote like before I started streaming, and I do have an overall plan right here, but that's about it. I don't write more than a day's plan in advance, except for these kind of like short, medium, long-term things I want to do. But yeah, before I stream, I like to try to have a plan. Usually it's not this detailed. It's more typically it'd be something like these. So maybe 1 or 2 bullets. It depends on how concrete the work to be done is, I guess. But so this was pretty concrete. I know exactly what commands and what capabilities I need to add to my library. So, and a lot of this I had tried to do in the previous stream, so I was able to copy it from there. I just never got to it. But this kind of helps me organize. I like to have, when I sit down, like, what am I going to do? And then afterwards, in like my retrospective, I can say, well, did I bite off more than I could chew, or did I run out of things to do? And then I kind of get an idea after a while how much I can do in like 2 or 3 hours at a time. And I try to get I'm trying to get to where I can kind of plan out enough work that covers exactly the amount of time I'm going to spend. Cool. Glad you like it. So, right. Notices. So I think I want to do authentication failures first. So did I have an example of that? Let me refer back to my logs. Just a second. They're like in an early, yeah. So here's an example message that you get. Actually, let's keep the log of this. So this is a incoming Whisper example. Authentication failure example. So here's what you get if you send in the wrong token. So by the way, that's the overlay I put up when I have to mute the mic, so, which I just had to do because someone came home. Anyway, so if you send in the wrong token, you should expect to get this, and this is a perfect case for handling the notice command. So let's make a test for that. Actually, let's make a special test for that. We have a login failure, unexpected disconnect. Right, and it has to do with this this log out. So I kind of designed this log out to be 2 situations you receive it. If you actually wanted to log out and it's done, and the other condition is where you get logged out unexpectedly. And I wanted that to cover authentication failures as well. So This will be login failure, bad credentials. So, same kind of thing here. Only instead of disconnecting the client, actually, yeah, so instead of this, let me go to where a login does succeed, and then here's where's the test for it. Oh, this the caps wasn't done, right? Oh no, we do have a caps ack. Right, so instead of this, we're going to send in the login failure. Like this. So we don't get a login, we do get a log out. And here's where we're going to fill in this right here. Oh, actually the whole thing. Okay, we do have lines received. Actually, no. The point of this was we receive at the server from the client. So the client shouldn't try to send anything else. That's what this is verifying. We don't need this part. I think in addition to getting a logout, I think we should also just get these notices plain. Since I think they are intended to be seen by the user. So let's make it just like receive messages. So something like this. And we don't need to wait. We'll expect one notice. I guess we don't have a concept of channel or user, do we? At least not yet. So I guess we'll just keep it as a string. The whole notice is just the string. And it'll be login unsuccessful. Alright, so where we have messages and whispers, we'll now also have notices. Only it's pretty simple. For now, it's a string. And that means I envision that we'll have another interface called notice. Const standard string message. Notices push back. And then we need to declare that interface. So right here. This is called whenever the user receives a server-wide notice, a notice from the server. This contains the notice message. This is the notice message. This is the text of the notice message. Server notice. I'm not so good with words. I've only been using words for decades, but you know, there's really no reason for me to be putting these on separate lines. I guess I was just doing that because I was copying from above. I really only separate them into more than one line if it's more than one argument. All right. I forgot to rename that, didn't I? Notice. Okay. So everything will build, but it won't work. This is what we want and expect, though. All right, so we don't get a logout and we don't get a notice. So, kind of like when we were receiving whispers, when we receive a notice, we need to do something. So, notice. All handle server and notice. So kind of copying the same kind of things from Whisper. Handle the notice. All right. It's going to be 2 arguments, but the first one, I believe, that's the target. So it's like star because we haven't authenticated successfully yet. Otherwise, it's going to be us anyway, so I think we ignore that. So it's going to be argument 1. So expect 2 arguments. Sure, expect at least 1 character. There's no nickname, though. In fact, there's no structure at all. We just say notice. And this is parameter. I guess we can just, well, put it directly in there. Or maybe to make it a little bit more readable, we can say const auto message. And then just make this a reference, since we don't need to make a copy. Okay. What didn't it like about that? Oh, I have 2 things called message. Okay. Notice text, maybe? So that will partially fix it, right? Because now we'll get the notice. We still won't get the logout, though. So before it was failing because not only did we get a logout callback, when we did not get a logout callback, we didn't get the notice. Now we're getting the notice but no logout. So it's a special case, right? Where if we're waiting to log in, or if we haven't logged in yet, I think we have a flag for that. Now I've lost my place. Okay, here we go. So we can say if we're not logged in, right? Then it's sort of similar to what we were doing when we do get logged in, only we look for logged in equals. Right, so we're going to change state. Let's go to last. All right, Control K, Control Q. There we go. Okay, it's actually, we should be careful about this. It's only for that special message, right? It has to be exactly that. Whoops. Keeps slipping on my keyboard. So it's not logged in and oh, notice text, right? Then it's log out. Slipped again. Logged out. Now I'm wondering, is this not a valid state? Not logged in. Okay, fine. Actually, it won't get into that state, will it? Do we even use this state? We don't. Do we use this logged in state? I don't. It's sort of redundant because I have this logged in variable. Let's get rid of the state. I don't think we need this state at all. So we don't need this. I don't need that. I don't need that. All right. So there's more than this, right? We need to stop waiting for the login. Right. List. I had this set up for when you receive messages that pertain to certain states, so maybe I do want to use that. Yeah, so it's kind of like this. Command or is it handle? Notice? Notice? Server command notice. Yeah, so I kind of want to do this here. This eats the message. No, it doesn't. It takes a const reference. Okay, so we're good. So we'll call this login fail action processors. Login fail. Actually, I think we just make this a generic process. We can say discard action. Make a generic processor. It doesn't really need to do anything with the action. It just needs to return false to say that it was completed, so it can be removed. Yeah, so it can kind of go here. Or should go with other action processors. Okay, never mind. I guess there's no real good place to put it. But it has to have this signature, though. This method, this method is used as an action processor when the action should just be discarded without actually doing anything more. Doing anything more. Why did I put a space there? I don't know. Let's just return false. Do I even need that? Could I just use a lambda? Maybe it's better to be explicit. So basically this is saying that go through any actions that are awaiting messages, and if it finds an await message of the day, discard it. Because I think the only time we'll get a login unsuccessful is when we just send our nickname and we're awaiting the message of the day. Yeah. Cool. So everything runs. Okay, these were sort of random edits that I did. Oops. Don't stage that line. There we go. Okay, so this was just fold together. This is fold together some lines. This is just a formatting cleanup. I think I want to check in this removing the state enum separately. So let's stage that hunk. This one. Not that. This line, yes. Not that. Right, so there's the state. There's where it's set. There's where, okay, yeah. So remove state enum. Not used. Or no longer used. It was used, I think, before I did the refactoring. Okay, so now I think it's just adding notice handling. And the special one for login unsuccessful as well. Okay, so what we want to say is add or support login authentication failures. Detect authentication failure. Typing is really bad today. Authentication failures during login as notices, messages sent by the server. Also, forward every notice text directly back to the user. Let's put in a test for that. Like, let's pretend that there's a non-login failure test. It's sort of like a receiving a whisper, right? So let's say receive a generic notice of some kind. There's no link joining in order to receive notices. Simulate some kind of generic notice. So it's going to be the form like notice, right? Notice. What's a very important message from Twitch? Very, very important. Gray is the new black. Right? So, actually, I'll need to have this await notices, right? We don't have that anymore. Right, so kind of like await lines receipt or one of these other awaits. Where am I? How did I get here? Await, no, await message. There we go. So kind of like these await messages and await whispers, it's await notices. And we already have that notices and it's all, we already had it signaled anyway, so it should still work. Cool. I'll just throw that into the commit we are already staging. So that kind of is a test for this. I like to have a test to accompany any kind of new capability, even if it's a side effect of something else. And push that. I guess we'll move on. Let me put up a note for this stuff though. So we'll want specific test cases for these. But I don't feel comfortable until I've seen all of these in the wild. Actual Twitch channel traffic. Some of these are easy to find, so you just go to a channel that's really busy and you just wait till someone gets banned or timed out and then log that. This one I think is also easy because I could just watch my own channel, and when I host someone I could see what it does, or go into someone's popular's channel and watch them get hosted and I'll see that message. This one I don't know about because I'd have to actually find a channel where they use these modes and then actually either see them already on or see them be turned on. I guess I could experiment on my own channel. I could turn these modes on temporarily and see them. Okay, so maybe I could do that. I could also find a victim who could volunteer to be banned for a bit, and then I don't know how to unban someone actually. Anyway, I could do these experiments later. So that's maybe it for notices for now. Someone volunteering to be banned. Okay, I'll keep you in mind, not Zane. I need to have it set up to log stuff first. Alright. Maybe we'll do membership next. I think there's better documentation of that. Membership, yes. So, there we go. So it's pretty simple. It'll just be the nickname of the person who joined, join, and then the channel. Oh, we already have a handling of this to watch for ourselves joining a channel. And then what? Same thing for part, right? Okay, so that's easy. We'll do that next. So this will be only when we're in a channel, right? So similar to receive message. So someone joined. Someone else joins. Someone else joins channel. We have joined. Someone else joining the chat. It's just join, and then the channel we're in. Okay, so wait for the join to be received, so await joins. no message. Did you just do leave at the same time? Someone else leaves. Channel we have joined. Leaving the chat. So it's just part. I think I'll keep the API names the same, so it'll be parts instead of leaves. Right, okay, so await joins and await parts. So the way I use the keyboard a lot of times is I just randomly lash out with my fingers, and if I hit the key that I intended to, then that's good. Otherwise, I just then search for the delete or backspace. I don't know how anyone else types, but that's how I feel sometimes I'm typing. Just I randomly lash out and I hope I get to the key I want. All right. Question is, do we want a special structure? Oh yeah, let's make a special structure. So it'll be how about a membership info? That'll go along with this membership capability. All right, so this is joins and then parts. You know, the other thing we need to do at the same time is we need to have this capability. Right? And right now we're only negotiating the commands capability. So I need to find where that test was. Okay, I think it was here. Yes. So I kind of want this to be a set. Right now it's just a string, but I kind of want it to be like this, set of strings. Again, lashing out randomly with my fingers to see if I hit the right keys. Because I don't really care what order the capabilities are in. We want both membership and commands to be requested, though. All right, and then we'll just pretend that the server gave us both of them. Hi there, Tyler Bra. Whenever you hit the backspace key, you hit the equals key. Yeah, well, it's worse for me. I sometimes end up hitting the wrong key like several times in a row, and then my cursor jumps. Yeah. Feels bad, man. Alright, so we're going to pretend that the server gave us both capabilities. Right, so we need to expand this. Okay, here's where, do we really care what order we expect it in? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get too elaborate. I was thinking about splitting this up to expect exactly that, and then for this one, like, loosen it up. Maybe I will just keep it strict, because then the test is simpler and it doesn't really matter. So I'll go back to this being a string. I had to have the order match. So we'll ask for commands and then membership. Okay, so membership after commands. All right, that part's done, and this part was done, right? And just need to make it compile, which means I need membership info. We'll put it near whisper info. This contains all the information about a membership command. Command or message? Documentation is sort of, it goes back and forth calling things commands or messages. I think I'm going to call it message. It's just that a message could be misinterpreted as one of these. What to call it? Membership. I'm struggling to find a word that's not message and not command. Command. I'll call it command. Screw it. Okay. Okay, I need the channel and user, really. That's the two things we want. This is the channel. Not where it was sent. This is the channel that was, this is the channel. This is the subject channel. No, this is the channel which was, whose membership changed. This is the user whose membership to the channel changed. All right, there we go. So let's build that. And run it. It will fail. It didn't fail, so I didn't do it right. I did something wrong. In fact, I'm surprised that worked. Am I running the right thing? That shouldn't have worked. Oh, the build failed, that's why. I guess I didn't see anything in red, and I'm used to seeing things in red when they fail. Okay, so hit F8. Ow. I have joins. Oh, I already have a join info? When did I do that? I don't remember doing that. That's funny. I already did join info. Oh, it was only in the tests though. Okay, so that's when we join or we leave. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we'll call it self joins, self parts, and then other joins. And other parts. It's not going to remove those red squigglies until I try to build again, I think. Alright, still have some errors. Expand all the things, then we can see them. Ah, self joins. This reminds me of a race condition I fixed the other day. This await join, I think is sort of, there's a race condition here in that if we sample it here and then we wait, we're sampling it after we've told it to join. Yeah, I think I need to fix this while I'm at it. Yeah, instead of doing this before thing, I'll just pass in what we expect it to become. Yeah. And this is, we don't need to do this. That's self parts. Yes. Wait leaves. Same problem here. All right. Okay. Yeah. We should be consistent too. I guess I'm kind of interchanging part and leave. I'm calling this leave. Actually, it's for everybody, isn't it? Okay, so there isn't a difference between other joins and other leaves. Okay, yeah. So I kind of got out in the weeds there. I thought that that was just for self, but that's really just for us. So shoot. So all that was sort of, yeah, sort of all wasted time. Sorry about that. I don't need this because we already have. Oh, interesting. Actually, I'm going to keep that. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that, but you have these use that structure. So const membership info. This holds the information about which user and channel are involved. And then I can just use that up here as well. And repeat that here. So, not all wasted. We'll keep membership info. It's just I can fold that in with these joins and parts. And I can get rid of these other joins, other parts, because they're kind of folded together. Yeah, so this uses the new membership info. This guy. So I don't need to do this. I need to rebuild, I think, get rid of... See, here's another case where IntelliSense is sort of fighting me, I think. Oh, I think I know why. This needs the whole... Yeah, he needs the whole prefix here. Which might be why I decided to fold that, because it's kind of long. You see how it doesn't update until I build? Sort of, that's another irritating thing. I can get past that though. Build is pretty quick. Really? I thought I have that. Is it await leaves? Hmm. Oh, awaits joins. It's just await joins. That's what it is. Rebuild to see what else. Okay. Okay, here has to change as well. Mathbot, so membership info dot. Oh, again, prefix needed, which makes this long, which means I fold it like that. Okay, where now? Ah, yes, so here we need a membership info. And we'll just fill in the nickname and the channel. I guess it's user. Is it user and channel? User and channel. And then membership info. Is that something that I can just R value? I think so. Because we know we don't need it after we do the callback. So avoid making a copy there. Yeah, see the it doesn't update until I hit run again or build again. Yeah. Go through all these and change that. That's fine. That and then in the test, right? Build. One more thing I missed. Oh, yeah, this happened here too. Oh, thanks for following, TechieXL. Membership info. This dot user and this dot channel, and then move that to the other function. Now we're good. Now we should get some failures. Cool. That's what I expected before. Okay, so I messed up on the name somehow, maybe in the test. And yeah, this is failing because we're not actually requesting the membership capability yet. We're only requesting commands. So let's fix this first. I didn't expect this to fail. I must have missed something. That was line 1017. Oh, I'm in the wrong file. I was like, what? Okay. Right, I did get this wrong. No, wait a minute. Someone else joins. That should have been right. What was it? 1124. Yeah, that's not the right user. Oh, wait a minute. No, there are two joins, right? Because we joined and then they joined. So we'll wait, two joins. First one is when we joined the channel. I should make a note of that. Note. First join was us. Second join was the other person. You might ask, why don't I check join 0? And the reason is I don't like tests being crossing each other, like two tests testing the same thing. We already have a test for joining up here. Join channel. So since join channel tests that, someone else joining the channel, I'm not going to bother verifying join 0 is us because that's the other test already verified. Okay, so we just need to make sure we negotiate the membership capability. So that was back here. it's sort of hard coded right now, which I think it's fine for now. Yeah, I just wanted to see. Right, if commands... Right, yeah, so here we're requesting commands and membership. Here we're only going to do it if they were supported. So I think we want to make sure that both have to be supported for us to request them. Because both should. So it'll be something like this. That they both have... that if either one isn't found, then just authenticate and not request things. So it's gonna either be we request both or neither. Okay, let's try that out. Okay, it didn't work out. Oh, I know why. Diagnostic subscription is very particular about what messages the diagnostics generate. Yeah, so there it's sort of like an unavoidable crossing between two tests, really. Right, so we're going to expect that they asked for membership and commands, right? Commands and membership. In that order, right? So we're going to act the capabilities they actually request. In other words, we list that we support all three. They're going to request 2 of them. We act 2 of them. And that's important to test because if in the future Twitch adds more capabilities, our library shouldn't request those extra capabilities we don't know about. It should just request the ones it knows about. So let's say we had like, in this case it's tags, right? Our library doesn't know about tags, so it's not going to request it. So this test is kind of verifying we don't request anything we don't support. Cool, so let's check that in. Okay, let me check this in as sort of a refactoring step. Separate from this. Yeah. That and that. Yep. Okay, this is different. I'm gonna check that in as a different thing, which is making sure we don't race. This we do want to check in though. And actually I can move it there, right? Okay. What was that? Joins pushback? Yeah. We can move it so we don't copy. And in the parts we can do the same thing. Make sure. Cool. So I want that hunk. That's separate check-in. That's separate. Separate. This was separate. Separate, separate. Okay. Okay, so this first one was just a refactoring. So... Oh, wait a minute. It wasn't exactly refactoring, was it? Oh, no, it was. And it was messaging, not just messaging test, refactoring. So it was... put... join... leave... arguments into a structure called membership info. That's essentially what changed here, right? Actually, then this join info I can delete. Right? That was sort of Replaced by membership info. Same thing with part info. Hey there, Never Legend. How's it going? So this gets removed as well. I'm doing okay. Just trying to get back into streaming. I haven't been streaming in a 3 or 4 days. Already I get rusty. Okay, membership info is removed. No, added. Removed join info and part info. Yeah, so that's that commit. And I think I wanted to check, this one was a race condition fix that I happened to see, because I ran into a similar one before. So yes, that hunk. This hunk as well. Not that or that though. These lines, yes. And these, and not that. Cool. So this is purely in the test framework. Fix race conditions. These race conditions are similar to another I fixed recently. Another fix recently. Rather than sampling the number of elements in a container as part of waiting, sample them earlier before the action which may result in the containers changing in another thread context. That's the important thing. So before, we would say, hey, start joining the channel, and then wait for us to get joined, right? Well, when we wait, it was like sampling the number of times we received join message and then waiting until it changed. Well, if conceivably this join were to like finish right away, then this await join would fail because it would be sampling it after it had been updated, right? So we want to first sample it before. We know in this test it'll be 0, and so it's like we're sampling, or we don't have to sample. We expect it to turn into 1. So yeah, essentially not sampling it after we might have changed it. Okay. This one was about adding the membership capability, right? And then this should let us see joins and parts from other people. Okay. Messaging, add Twitch.tv membership capability. As far... Should I say I? I don't like using I in check-in comments. I won't say as far as I can tell. Twitch.tv membership, we'll say apparently only really enables join and part message commands sent by the server. I think so. I mean, there's mode. Oh, that's right, there's mode. But names is like supposed to be only sent when we ask for it, I think. I think that's if we send names, then we get back names. But so that's something we have to do, and do we want to support that? Yeah, but I want to see it in the wild. I want to see. I don't know what the server actually does, because there's something that it does about handling joins and parts in batches. I don't know how that affects names. So let me make a note to do this. So I just add to this list names command. What sort of list do we get back? Is it complete, or is there some lag where people who have just joined don't appear in the list right away? I want to see that before I handle that. And same thing for mode. I don't know exactly how that works. Don't quite understand. Do some more research about this and see it in logs before designing it in the library. Okay. So we'll say add partial handle join and part commands. We may also receive mode commands. We don't yet handle. Don't yet handle them. And then finally, we have the capability to send names, commands, and receive back the names of people already in the channel, but don't support this yet. Just wanted to check that in. We'll get back to that later. Okay, what else can I get to without doing more research? Looking at commands. Yeah, this is a total ban. This is when someone's message is just individually removed. Oh, I want to capture logs of that first. Same thing with hosting. You know what I'll do is I'll just enable this capability because I don't think it changes what we receive. And we'll just ignore all these things that come in. We have to be careful about tags though. If we enable tags, it's going to break our code. So let's just enable commands for now. Then we'll have all of our... Oh no, we already are enabling commands. Duh, I'm stupid. We had to enable commands for Whisper to work. So let me make a note. So everything under Twitch TV commands except Whisper, which is not documented. Capture more logs to get a better understanding. Maybe we'll move on to tags because I do have logs for tags, and we can support that. So yeah, so I'm deferring work on that. We did this. I'm deferring work on these two. Oh, we could also do this one. This one's interesting. So apparently, you can connect as a nick that starts with Justin Fan. Where does it say that? Justin Fan plus some random numbers like Justin Fan 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't send the password, and then you'll receive chat, but you won't be able to send it. And that's sort of like anonymous listener. So we kind of want that mode. So I'll work on that and I'll work on tags. Which one first? How about anonymous mode? We'll do that first. Anonymous mode. Let's make it like receive. Here's receive message. Here's receive message. Actually, a combination of receive and send. Yeah, we'll have expectation for what send should do. That's what I'll do. So we'll say anonymous mode. Anonymous, how about anonymous connection? Not the best word. So log, okay, instead of logging in, it's a different procedure. So we'll take the login test and the login to chat test, and we'll change it a bit. Actually, let's copy the whole dang thing in here, and we'll have the join be a normal thing though. Log in anonymously. Right, so the idea is that we don't need a token or a nickname. We say login anonymously, as the user shouldn't care about those details. We will still have the same cap exchange, the same stuff returned. I believe the same stuff. Okay, so yeah, we have the nickname, but we have no pass. So there's no password, right? What nickname do we expect? I don't think, like, this says that we need to have a random number. I actually don't think it needs to be random. We could just pick something. So Justin Fan, I don't know, 1 2 3 4 5. Why not? And that should be all we need to send. We shouldn't need to send a password. Right, so all of this should work. Oh, and I was going to combine it with sending. Sending should have no effect. So I kind of want to wait and we should not. So expect false that we receive that. Yeah, that's essentially what I want. And let's make doubly sure by we will clear the lines received and expect nothing is sent to the server when we try to send a message. That should basically do nothing because we're logged in anonymously. We shouldn't even try to send something. Okay, yeah, we shouldn't offer any password. Well, we'll see that here, so don't need that. Yeah, let's do that. Make it easy. Actually, I don't really care about this capability stuff either. Let's do this. So let's get the nickname offered. And then we'll expect that the first characters are Justin Fan. It's 8 characters, right? And then I had a utility to parse as a number. To integer, I think it was. It has this result, which is right. So expect it's to integer result. Right, so expect equal to integer result success when we call to integer with nickname substring starting with 8. And then we need a place to put it, so some kind of scratch. Don't care what it is. And where was that declared? String extensions. Okay, I'm already including it. Good. So we don't expect a password. So I'm just not going to even care about this stuff. All right. Okay, so we just are missing login anonymously. So there's login. Let's add login anonymously. Logging into the Twitch, so let's make this explicit as a registered user or bot, I guess. Anonymously. And there is no nickname and no token required. Right there. Okay. So, just to get it to compile, we do that. And then verify that it builds, and then we run it. Should fail. Fails. Doesn't do anything, in fact, so let's add some code. So, let's... How do we want to do this? I suppose what we can do is we can just have the token be an empty string, and we can just here construct Justin fan. Did I get it wrong before? I think I did. Did I have Justin fan? I have Justin. It's Justin fan. And that's 9 characters, right? Yep. Okay. We can do the right thing. Why not? Where did I do this before? Yeah, one of these generators. Oh, that might be overkill. Let's just keep it simple. So, system abstractions printf, and then just some number, and then rand. Forget what's rand max again? That's big enough, right? So some random number. Doesn't really matter. We just need to be including the correct header for us. That's standard lib? Okay. If it wasn't important, I could use an actual generator, or I could use crypto random, but it doesn't matter in this case. Okay. So this is still not going to work, but it'll get us further. It's gonna actually send a token. Oh. Yeah, okay, we need to make sure it doesn't try to send a token. So let's have that in the test here. So token. That's like a pass, right? Let's have a flag. So bool was password offered. Huh. Why did I do that? Why did I have a... Was I just being formal? Okay, I guess I can be just as formal for this. So bool was password offered. It's sort of a necessary formality. I don't know. I guess last time I was in this code, I thought about doing it more formally. Okay, whatever. So we'll just have to set it here. And then what we'll do is make sure it's not given. So anonymous connection, it should not be given. Right, so expect false to was password offered. Now it should fail earlier. Right, so it was offered a blank password basically, and then the send message goes through. We see that in two places. Yes, okay, so I think what we want to do is if token is not set, we don't want to send the password. I think it says perform action. No, this is the first part where we request capabilities, right? So it's further along. I guess I should just search for pass. Yeah, here it is. So if token empty, or if it's not empty really, then send it. That should fix one problem. So the other problem is it shouldn't try to send something. So we should have like a flag to say that we're being anonymous. Actually, I should build that into this instead. So if not anonymous. That's what I probably should do. And so I want to put that with logged in. It's sort of a state variable. Actually, why don't I have these as Doxygen comments? I don't know. These should all be Doxygen comments. Whoops. Eh, there we go, hitting random keys. Oh, and I totally messed. Oh no, that just wasn't written yet. Never mind. So this flag indicates whether or not the user is whether or not the user is going to be how do I want to say this? I don't want to just repeat myself in this, say this flag indicates whether or not the user is going to be anonymous. I want to elaborate on it. Going to be offering, and it's negative too. If true, this flag indicates that the user is not going to be offering an OAuth token to authenticate as a registered user/bot. And will only be able to receive messages, not send them. Actually, we shouldn't permit whispers either, now that I think about it. So let me pull that in while we're at it. It should be both send message and send whisper to whoever. So let's say we try to say, hey guys, to that user. We shouldn't see either. We shouldn't see anything. So it's actually succinctly captured by that. Right? All right. Fix these guys while I'm at it. How many more of those? Okay, just 2 more. I think these are not Doxygen comments because I copied them from some other place where, like, they were local variables. I think that was why. All right, so anonymous. is there. Where do we set it? Log in anonymously, I guess. Let's make this 2 different actions. Right, so we'll have it here. Well, hold on. It's really just a parameter to log in, now that I think about it. Yeah, so... because I want to permit trying to log in as a real user but an empty token. I mean, it'll always fail, but we'll say anonymous equals false, and here we'll say it's true. That's what I'll do. We just need to add that to the action structure. Okay, this flag is used when the action may be done anonymously or not, to indicate, you know, whether or not to be anonymous. Okay, so the login, perform action login. So it really gets copied around, right, until, yeah, see that it ends up being a login option. Oh, it ends up awaiting for capabilities and stuff, right? So yeah, it's stuff is extracted from here. We need to make sure that it gets forwarded correctly. I don't like that we're passing, that I'm going to end up changing things. Okay. You know what I'm going to do is make another structure for authentication, or login information. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to put these things in it. I'm going to keep it separate from the action structure because some of these things are reused. Use the multiple actions. But when we know, when it's a specific chain of events, it'll be login information. So this stuff. Actually, that's here, isn't it? Okay. Struggling with editor. Okay. Anonymous. Yeah, okay. All right. Actually, maybe I do want to build this into action. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of redundancy, but that's fine. This structure holds all the information needed to log into Twitch. Okay, so we're just put one of these in here, even though we already have a nickname. This is used. This holds information. This holds all the information needed when logging in. So this login information will also have a nickname we just don't need this flag here. So it's a little bit redundant in that nickname is also in login information. But that's really because I'm reusing this action structure to hold lots of different things. Login information, I don't know. I'm going back and forth. The problem is that when I have things like lots of functions that are taking in multiple parameters, if I need to add anonymous to all of them, I mean, I guess there aren't too many, but maybe I should pass in the entire action. Where they're used, we'll have the action anyway. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, so put back that anonymous flag there, and we don't need login information because we'll move around action everywhere we need that login information. Right, so here, action. This holds information needed to log into chat, Twitch chat. The information, really. So it's a little bit strange in that we're passing an action object. Actually, you know what we could do? So once we're using an action here, we can just make that a copy and just do that. And we don't have to do that. Yeah, I like that. So, same thing for this one. Because, yeah, it also uses an action, so we don't need that either. Yeah, I like this better. Okay. Alright, so that anonymous thing is now available to all the places that need it. And we just end up giving copies of the previous action when we do the next action. It just gets, the copy gets reused, carrying forward the information we need. Okay. Actually, if all the places we're calling it from are going to consume it, then we can do move, can't we? Oh no, this does not consume it. Yeah, alright. Okay, so the anonymous thing, that's when we're doing the password, right? So that's now in the action. Actually, how come that compiles? Oh. Yeah, we don't want that. Or no, we do. We need that. But we need to save it. Where do we save it? Actually, do I need to carry it in the action at all? Maybe I store it right away. I guess we can do it. We can store it as the first thing we do when we're performing it, the action login. Yeah, because there's this check, if we're already logged in, don't do anything. So we don't want to change the anonymous flag until we know we're logging in. Right, so this is probably the best place to do it. So anonymous was action anonymous. And then here's, right, there's one place. And then it was in send message, I think. Yeah, we don't want send message to do anything if it's anonymous. I could fold those two together, but I prefer to keep them separate. Alright, so whispers and messages cannot be sent when we're anonymous, and it shouldn't send the password. And it should pick a random nick. Cool. So let's run it without filters. Alright, so we should have anonymous mode now. Alright, there's the interface change. We added an anonymous flag. Okay, let me check this in separate. So let's start by assuming we're checking everything in, and then I'll unstage these things. Actually, it got kind of mixed together. I'll check them in. They're tangled, so I won't bother to check them in separately. Messaging. Add anonymous login. Add ability to log in anonymously. Okay, anonymous logins cannot send messages or whispers, but can join channels and receive messages. I don't think they can receive whispers, but I'm not sure. Maybe they can. Okay, how long have I been streaming? 2.5 hours? I think what I'll do is I will add support. Now that we have anonymous and we're doing everything I'm comfortable doing here, I think I'll just add support for the tags and then call it a day. Well, call it a stream, and then off stream, I'll do the research and stuff, which is kind of boring, to learn more about what to expect for all this stuff, and then I'll be able to code that next time. So tags. I have some examples of tags. They're interesting. Let me find that. Bring it on screen here. So let me pull one that here's one example. So if you're in like Kitboga's stream. Oh no, I don't want to be pulling in something that oh, why not? Why not? This is harmless, right? So here's an incoming chat with tags example. It's kind of long. So it looks like that. And if we break it down, broken down, tags are, so you're supposed to break it by at the semicolon. So you get all sorts of useful information. So you can tell that the tags is you get an extra string in front of the prefix, which starts with an @ symbol. And it's a string that's separated by semicolons. So if you divide by semicolons, you get all of this stuff. All sorts of useful information. A lot of stuff. And then that's it. So badges is then broken down further. You split these on commas, right? So there are 3 badges. So this particular chat came from someone who is a moderator, a subscriber for 12 months, and a partner. Okay, other tags are, this is the color of their name, and then this is how to display the name, because the actual nickname was stream elements all in lowercase, right? So in the prefix, you know what the nickname is, but you don't know how to capitalize it. So the display name tells you how to capitalize it. And then the emotes, I believe, is then further broken down. I need to find one that has multiple emotes. Let me look for that. That shouldn't be hard to find. People like to do lots of emotes, right? Aha, here's one. Just need to make sure it's not got any naughty words in it. Okay. So in this one, I'll just pull out the emotes one. Actually had another interesting tag in there. Emote only. Then there's the emotes, right? Doesn't really matter what the emotes are, but you can see the emotes are also by comma. So we're theoretically going to have to also broken down emotes are. In this case, it's only one. Right, but here's an example where there are several, right? There's this one, and then each of these. Actually, and I think the way we're supposed to parse it is like this. That's the same emote 5 times. And this... Alright, so let me find another one with different emotes. All in the same message. Kind of hard to find. Someone has to use like 2 different emotes in the same message. I'm looking. This is just like from Kitboga chat. At one point I logged a bunch of stuff. This is probably the log file. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Probably the log file I'll come back through again at some point to look for banned stuff, because people get banned in his channel all the time. Okay, so here's one. Again, it's an emote only message. So yeah, I think if your message is just emotes, you have the special tag emote only. So here's an interesting one, because it's got... Okay, so here we can see we divide by the slashes. So if we divide by the slashes, we do that first, right? And then we divide it down into... So to explain what we're seeing here. This is just one emote. That's the ID of the emote, and apparently you can take that and append it to a URL template and get the picture that goes with the emote. And these are the characters in the message. So from index 0 through 13 of the message. So if the message was this, so basically it's saying these characters are replaced by the actual emote image, right? And then here's an example where it's the same emote, but they said it 5 times in a row with spaces in between. So it's a 9-character long emote, and they just repeated it 5 times. In this message, the guy had 3 different emotes, once each. So hopefully that makes sense. It lets you kind of take out the text characters and replace it with the image. So that's probably the most advanced thing we have to parse. Then we have other things. I'm not sure what flags are. I'll need to look for other examples of where we actually have flags. ID, I believe you can use this as a global unique identifier to find the message again. And I think that's also used to delete a message. And then whether the person is a mod, the ID number of the room, whether the person was a subscriber, the timestamp of when the message was sent, whether they're a turbo user, the ID of the user, and what type the user was. So all sorts of useful information we can get out of these badges. So the question is, do we want to do parsing all the way down into some kind of structure? Or just get the string and let the user parse it, or what? I'm kind of leaning towards a structure. And what we can do is we can just drop stuff we don't recognize. We can just build up the structure with what we do care about. So, for example, probably care about badges, color, display name, emotes. That's probably it for now, right? Some of the stuff is deprecated or obsolete, like subscriber you can get from the subscriber badge, I think. And turbo is also a badge. If they're a turbo user, it shows up as a badge. And I think also mod is moderator now. So yeah, I think we're going to add parsing for this, but only really care about badges, color, display name, emotes. Okay, so let's make the unit test for that. So that will be enabled by the tags capability. So we should probably have two tests. We should have, actually probably a good idea would be to, in order to prevent breaking our previous tests, we'll have all these tests not get the tags capability, which makes sense, right? Let's enhance this login to say bool include tags, and we'll default it to false. And might as well say what we're talking about here. If true, also request the Twitch TV tags capability on the server, from the fake server. Okay, so it'll be something like this. If include tags, else what we used to do. So twitch.tv tags, right? Cool. Now let's take receive message, and we'll make another version of it where it has tags. And let's call this receive messages no tags no tags capability. And we'll receive messages with tags capability. So here we will log in true. Request, say, with tags capability. All right. So here we'll have some tags. So let me pull it straight from our example, right? Yeah, why not just pull this exact thing? So, except I'm going to strip some of these things that are globally identifying. So, there are the tags. It's a big long, actually I can break this up like this. That'll let me more conveniently remove the tags I don't actually want to include in my test. Like things like room ID, I'm going to get rid of those. I want to include these extra things just so our code really does get tags it doesn't care about, and we'll verify that it doesn't freak out. All right, so that's all the tags. And here's the prefix. And I haven't done this before, but I'll just do it now. This is the command. And this is the arguments, right? So we're going to remove the global identifier of the ID, and we're going to remove the timestamp. Actually, let's not remove them. Let's just fake them. So we will just type in random numbers here. I want to do overwrite mode though. I thought that was the insert key. I thought insert switched mode. Override? Really? You can't overwrite? Okay, fine. I'll just type one above it. I want to get the number of characters the same is all. Let's put in some legal but non-decimal things in here. All right. Room ID. Hopefully there's no room ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How would I verify that there isn't a room 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I don't know. Let's obscure this a bit too, the time sent. Because I just don't want anyone to look at this code and like be able to somehow pin this back to something stream elements actually did. In fact, I need to change the display name too. So that timestamp is probably completely invalid. It's way in the future anyway. All right, and the user ID. Hopefully there's no user ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just thinking. Maybe I should just drop those entirely, not even worry about them. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to include some of this extra junk, just so that it does get stuff it doesn't care about. Okay, let's change this to foo bar master. All right. So now we'll get additional things, right? So expect equal foo bar master user messages 0, and let's put them under tags, badges. Oh, no, we're going to parse the tag. So it's going to be display name, right? And then be nice to get this as a set, right? So let's expect a set for badges. Badges? Okay, standard set of strings. So moderator 1, subscriber 12, partner 1. Okay. What else? Emotes. Oh, we should make the emotes more challenging. I liked... This one's almost good, but let's modify it a little bit. Let's say we... Actually, I kind of want to just... I know what I'll do. I'm going to bring my chatbot online really briefly to capture something. So apologies that you see MathBot, but I'm going to abuse MathBot here. I'm going to type in something that has some emojis in it just to capture something for myself. Let's see. How about... Hello. Hey, guys. This is a test. Seems good. Also, did I say, hey guys, hello? That's probably good enough. So. Oh, you know what? I need to enable badges to see that. Shoot. Hold on. I will use text chat. What happened to hex chat? Oh, I didn't do the right thing. Pull that off screen just so nothing, no private info gets sent in. And let me send that message again. And I'll probably have to say it one more time because I did not enable viewing raw. Raw log, right? And then I need to send it again. Sorry, guys. For the spam. Shoot, I didn't. I still don't have this set up right. Close that guy. Hold on. I'll get there. Just a second. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I can't show this on screen. Okay, good. Hold on, I might have to mute my mic. Oh shit, I keep forgetting to show the raw log. Okay, cool. This is what I expected to see. What's this? Oh, someone guessed, I see. I want to actually just capture this thing right here is exactly what I want. The emotes. Actually, I want the whole message because I'm going to put it in here. We're going to use this in my test program. So I can close this guy. Close HexChat. I use HexChat to debug this stuff off screen. I just don't know what HexChat shows on screen, so I don't want to reveal personal info and all that. Okay, so this is going to be the test message. I'll just pull this whole thing in. Here. Oh, and I guess I can turn off the bot. Why did it say there are no winners this round? Oh, what happened there? Let's see what happened. Oh, you had an exclamation point after the number. Sorry, dude. Okay, I'll posthumously say MathBot 2000 got tripped up on the in 74. 1 point awarded to Band Mask. Sorry, feels bad man. There we go. Yeah, so the bot needs just numbers, and you had an exclamation point in your message there. So it didn't interpret it as an answer. Okay, anyway. I want to take this and yeah, I'm going to pull that back into the example. The reason I'm doing this is these offsets in the emotes are very important. They need to match the message to be like a valid example. Right, so that was the important bit. I can skip the rest here. Down to the private message. Missing some important things here, aren't I? I'll pretend he said it. What was it? This really was meant to go here in place of that. There we go. this goes there. And this goes to set. Like that. Yeah, so I wanted the offsets in the emotes here to match actual places where the emotes show up here. Here, actually, right? So, hey guys happens to be 30 to 59, and it goes offset 6 to 12, right? These characters. And then it's, again, 54 to 60 down here. Down here. And then seems good is 64, 138. Right here. 29 to 37. So, this is the message. So how do we want to get these emotes? I guess we will expect a map from emote to vector of pairs. Sure. So, like, just stealing from that. Some kind of map from, I guess they're, we just use int. Why not? To pairs of integers. Okay, what are the emotes? So, 30 to 59. And, oh, wait a minute, it was a vector of pairs, right? Sort of a complicated type. But not too bad, because it'll just look like this. And then 54 to 60 turns into this. Right? And then there's one more emote in there. Seems good. Otherwise known as 64, 138. And that was from 29 to 37. Okay. Too many brackets, I think. No. Correct number of brackets. And that was emotes. Okay, and then what else do we want? Got badges. Actually, should we break the badges up between the number and the type? Yeah, let's do that. So it's going to be, actually, if we do that, it's set. It's hard to do set then. I'm gonna keep them like string for now. That's not too hard to, you just search for the slash and you break it by that. I think we want color also. Yeah, let's get color. So expect equals, what kind of thing, we want this to parse as a hexadecimal, I think. So user messages 0 tags color. And that's probably all I care about now, right? Batches, emotes, display name, and color. Good enough for now, right? Just verifying that everything matches. Okay, so we don't have tags. Let's go define tags. Where should we put it? Why not at the front? So, message tags. This contains information. Actually, what if the message doesn't have any tags? Like no color? Maybe we'll just have a default color or something. Provided in the messages tags. How about tags info? Because it's information about the tags. And let me repeat this up here. This contains information about the tags of a message. All right, now what did we need? We needed display name. And badges, which is this type. And emotes, which is this type. Okay, so we need set, map, and string. String, map, and set. Alright, let's just comment. Document these guys. This is the name of the user as it should be displayed in the user interface. With proper capitalization. This is the set of badges meant to be displayed in front of the user's name. And right, this contains information about the emotes used in the message. Each key is the ID of an emote. And we should probably copy in the documentation where it talks about those, right? This one. Hold on, this is emote sets. How do we actually get emote? No, it's not. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. We'll just copy this from their documentation. One may use this ID to obtain an image corresponding to the emote. An image, what, from Twitch? Yeah. Using this URL template. Where size is one. Does it really have to be 1.0? I know, let's test it. So if I go to my browser and I type in that and then I replace that emote ID with what is it we were seeing? This should be hey guys, right? And then what, 1.0? Let's test and see if this is... Oh, what happened? Okay, there. That. I think the colons don't go there. There we go. And then what? 2 would be larger. And what, 4 is even larger? Great. All right. So it's without the colons. I don't know why they put the colons in there. That's sort of dumb. Why do they put the colon in there? What point does that serve? There's no colons. I'm going to remove the colons. See also, I'll just refer to their site for more information. There we go. Let's break this up into separate paragraphs. This paragraph will be about the key and then the value. Each value is a vector of instances of the emote. Each instance is a pair consisting of the index of the first character corresponding to the emote. And is it the last character or the one after the last? Seems good is 9 characters. So that must be the last, right? No, hold on. 6. If that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, guys. I got it wrong. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's the last. First, last. See, it could either been the last or the character after the last. The index of the first character. Okay, each instance is a pair consisting of the indices of the first and last characters corresponding to the emote. Alt Q. Cool, so that's plenty of documentation. Now everything should build, right? Or no, I'm missing something. I'm missing color. That, it needs to be 32 bits, right? So unit 32T, color. Okay, this is the color. Let's make a default. And make a color default to white, I guess. Most people do black background, so white would be a good default color, I guess. This is the color in which to draw the user's display name. The color is in RGBB format. Top 24 bits, where the most significant. It's bits 23 down to 16 are correspond to the red. I should have ended the comment before I did the wrapping. There. Red channel, bits 15 to 8 correspond to green channel, and bits 7 down to 0. I probably don't need to say all this stuff. I probably could just refer to some format, like I say it's just like in CSS or something, but yeah, why not? Why not be a little bit verbose? All right, so maybe it'll build now. It won't work because we're not interpreting tags. In fact, it'll probably explode. Let's see what it does. Yeah, okay, it just ignored the message completely. It doesn't explode, but it's ignoring the message completely because it does not go through our state machine correctly. There's where we're going to have to modify our state machine that we made for parsing a message. I have to remember where it is. Where are you, message parser? I guess I'll have to search for it. So it was like next. Oh, right. That's one of the things I did when I refactored. I pulled it into its own file called message.cpp. See, it was a good day refactoring. So it's all in this one file, message.cpp now. So I think what we need to do is introduce another state, and we need to enable it only if tags capability has been negotiated. So let's add that in here as another parameter, tags enabled. Or maybe we'll just intelligently look at the first character. Yeah, let's just be intelligent about it. How come? Okay. So, first character. So we'll change this now. Yeah, right here, if the offset's always going to be 0, but if it's an at, we will go into another state. Invent a new state called tags. So let's make this new state tags. Tags. Actually, I wonder if with our state machine, can we just parse this character by character? Because we could have just different states. We could, when we hit the equal sign, all the characters up to that we can interpret to know what state to go into. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'll do it. I know. I will just collect them all in the state machine. So we'll just read characters until we get to a space, I think, right? It goes until the space. Yeah. So this will be the terminator. We'll just need to put that somewhere. So we'll put it here. So unparsed tags. So when we're in this tag state, it's the same thing as the prefix. Only instead of putting into the message prefix, we'll put it into the unparsed tags. And actually, it's not going to be the command first character that comes next. It could be the prefix. So it could be prefix or command first character, right? So we need another state for that. Actually, why do I have... Oh, these are explanations. So prefix, what is it, signal? Sentinel? Is that what it's called, a sentinel value? Like if a marker? I'll just call it marker because I'm not sure. Or first character of command. Okay. So it depends if it's this thing. Basically, we repeat this code here. If it's a colon, then we go into the prefix. Otherwise, it's the command, not the first character, and we grab that and put it into the command. All right, okay, so this should do it. Right? Oh, okay, these are the invalid states. So we had, I think both, we can't end in either of those two states. So if we end in tags or prefix or command first character, they're not valid. Why am I typing all this? I can just be lazy about it, right? Like that. Okay. If it's valid end state, I think now we can parse the tags. So let's make another function for this. So parse tags, message unparsed tags, and put it up here as a helper. So message const unparsed tags. This is a helper function which parses the tags string from a raw Twitch message. And keyboard fail. Stores them in the given message. This is the message to update to include tags parsed from the given raw tag string. Yeah, I hate it when the wrap wants me to combine those into one paragraph. Parse tags. This is the raw string containing the tags for the given message. Right? Okay. This is in the Twitch namespace. Now it's good. Okay, so it's just going to be a matter of splitting a bunch of times, and I have a convenience method in system abstractions string extensions. I don't know why IntelliSense doesn't help me with that, but it's there, and I think it's called split. Yeah, so I have a convenience method called split. We can call that a bunch of times. So const auto tags equals system abstraction split. It's the string, so unparsed tags, and the character is semicolon, right? Already forgetting. So bad. Yeah. And then we split by the equals sign, right? So we can actually, I can keep it tags for readability actually. So we can say for const auto reference tag in tags. I could put all of that in place of tags, but then this kind of lets you know what it is. So for each tag, name value pair equals system, again, system abstraction split tag on equals. Now, for, actually it's going to be 2 elements, right? Let's say if there's more than 2 elements, is equal sign allowed in the value? I don't think so. I don't think so. So really it's only valid if name value pair size is 2. So if it's not 2, then we'll just continue. Then here we can interpret the text. So I guess we'll just keep it simple. We'll say if const auto name is name value pair 0. If name is, what do we care about, right? Badges. Else if name is display name. And I forgot color. Color. And emotes. Those are the only ones we'll care about for now. Okay, display name is easy because then we just say message dot. Actually, why do we have message? Shouldn't it just be what was the type? Oh, hold on. Messaging includes message, right? No, it doesn't. Okay, so message can include messaging. Yeah, we can include messaging then. Ah, this seems oh, that's the internal version of this. Yeah, so let's, yeah, I need this tags info. That's what I need. In fact, we'll just pull this directly out. We just need to put this in the right namespace. Twitch messaging tags info. We're already in the Twitch namespace, so you can just say messaging tags info. Right. So I don't think I need in CPV file to pass the whole message in here. I can just say tags info. And we'll make it an output, actually. Let's not assume it's got anything valid in it. This is where to store the tags parsed from the given, yeah, there we go. Actually, can't we just return it? Yeah, let's just return it. Just I can't use the word tags in both places. How about parsed tags? And they have some sort of symmetry. Unparsed in, parsed out. So this is return. No, that's not returned. This is returned. The tags. This is the tags parsed from the given raw product is returned. All right, so then I can just say this dot display name equals name value pairs 1. Okay, let's use it correctly down here. So it's message dot tags equals parsed tags unparsed tags, right? Cool. Color. I think we can just use scanf for that. We just need to skip that, or we need to I think maybe we can include that in the scan format string. I don't know, we'll give it a shot. So that's in standard IO. And just don't freak out that I'm using C library from C++. You can do it. Don't be shy. So you can say if, and then scanf. The buffer is name value pair 1. The format is pound and then %, and then PR, SC, and here we need int types for this. SC and X32? Can never remember these. I think that's right though. And then the address of where we're going to put it, parsed tags. Actually, it doesn't. We don't really need to do the if. It either works or it doesn't. Color. Yeah. I like these standard names that are in C99's int types. Actually, it's int types.h, isn't it? Not C++, but again, C. And this needs to be converted to a C string for scanf to work. That was a little caveat to go from C++ to C. You're going to use a C function that needs a C string, and you have a C++ string, you need to convert it to a C string. Okay, that should get us the color and the display name. What's easier now? The emotes, I guess? So const auto emotes equals, again, we're going to split. And this time we're splitting name value pair. Maybe we could put that value and make it a little bit easier to read. And then I can put value there and value there and value here. And then what are we on? Emotes. It is slashes, right? Yeah, first by slash. And then for const auto emote in emotes. Then we're going to split by colon. So const auto ID instances pair. Split the emote by the colon character. And then if ID instance pair dot size is not 2, continue. Just ignore it if it doesn't match at that point, and then we'll say, actually we can scan that ID directly in, right? Yeah, so ID. If I actually will do a check here. ID instance pair 0 C string percent D. We can put this all in one line. There's no need to fold that, to unfold that completely like that. It's not equal to 1. Continue. So it has to parse as an integer. And then, how come it didn't like that? Instances, right? Because there's more than one instance. And that's what we're splitting on next. We're splitting on a comma. So const auto instances. Split ID instance pair 1 on comma. And then for const auto instance in instances. Finally, we have to split by dash. Const auto begin end pair. Split. Actually, maybe we can shortcut it with just scanf. Begin end, right? We can say if scanf instance C string, and it's %d minus %d, right? I think that'll work. Let's see. Begin end is not equal to continue. Finally. Okay, we need to put it in something, so the parse tags for every emote, once we get the ID, we can get the emote instances. Emotes, and then we can just index by the ID. And then we can say emote instances push back pair. Actually, we can just do an initialization list of the pair, begin, end. Right? Phew! I think that does it for emotes. Last but not least, badges. Badges is a bit easier, right? So it's just on comma. So const auto badges. Split value on comma. And then hey, Rally Monkey, we don't need those stinking badges, that's right. I think what we'd just do is for const auto badge in badges, parse tags badges dot insert badge. We don't care about if they're repeats, right? Insert lets us know where it ends up in the set and whether or not it was actually inserted. So it'll detect if there are duplicates. We don't care though. All right, so that was elaborate. Let's see if that actually did it. Pair cannot be used as a template argument, really. Unspecialized class template can't be used as a template argument for... Oh, is it because I didn't include... I used vector without including it? No. Oh yeah, I didn't. I used a vector down here and map. Okay, I have include map, I don't have include vector. Try again. You get really weird compiler errors when you don't include the right headers for standard template library types. Okay. Okay, let's see what happened here. We got some things. No, we didn't. We didn't get anything. Expected these things and got nothing. We did get the message out though. So we got something. Let's just see. Let's see what happened. 907. So it got the channel user and the message, but it didn't actually get the tags out. It's all empty. So what happened? This should all be one string. I could put a breakpoint here and make sure. So, do I have this set up right? I think so. I just debug now. Yeah, so I can look. Oh, I really should have put a breakpoint here and stepped in. Let's start over again. And then step in, and then out and in, and out. And we do this dance because Visual Studio isn't very smart about it. Okay, but here's the... Okay, it's hard to see. I think it looks okay. Okay, so... I guess what I'll do is put it on the new message, the new code we wrote here. Let's have it go to there. And not there, go. Okay, here we go, unparsed tags. Okay, we got the unparsed tags, looks okay. So, tags, there are 9 tags. Looks good so far. Okay, we got badges. Badges, we have 3 badges. Okay, that looks good. Maybe it's constructing it correctly, it's just not being returned correctly. Go, what does parse tags look like? I wish I could display that as a hexadecimal. It actually looks good. So what happened? How come it's not returning that all the way up? Okay, what happened? It's in there. Oh, my test framework probably isn't storing it. Right? Or it could be this, this one's not handling it. No, this should have copied it, right? Oh, no, it didn't. It didn't copy the tags here. That's what it is. I had to do that. So message info.tags equals message.tags. That's what it was. Okay, build. Brilliant. Okay. Now that... Wait a minute. I don't think... I never actually negotiated the tags, though, did I? Is that test even valid? Oh, it doesn't actually test that it was requested. We should build that in. So... Did I have that part of the login thing? I did. Okay, so here we'll have it ask for twitch.tv tags. And we'll grant it. And then we'll show it there being requested. And then we should do the same thing in the diagnostic stuff, right? Yes. Because they'll request it. in that order. Different order. It can be in a different order in which they were listed. That's fine. Okie doke. So that will fail because we're not actually requesting the tags for real. So we just need to request them. So that's request capabilities, right? And then there. And then one more place, right? We only want to request them if all of them are available. So only if commands, memberships, and tags are available do we want to request them. Otherwise, we're going to request nothing. So basically, it's an all or nothing thing, because I don't expect Twitch to remove these capabilities. But let's say they did. Then we shouldn't request them. We'll just go into a fail-safe mode where we just go in with no capabilities. I mean, it might be smarter to start out with all three and then just kind of remove the ones that aren't supported, but why bother? I don't think Twitch is going to remove them. The thing that I think Twitch would do is add more capabilities, not remove existing ones. Oh, the expectation for anonymous connection is wrong. This expectation of what capabilities are requested is wrong. Fix that. Cool. I think we're good. We're going to check this in, and I'm going to wrap things up. Definitely feeling the burn. So we added basic tag support, colors, emotes, badges, display name. That's pretty much, I think, minimum that we want to get. Right? There's other stuff in there. We can handle it later. Yep. I was originally thinking that rather than like allowing the first character to be an @, that we would only interpret that if we knew tags were negotiated, but I didn't really see the point, because the first character has to be either a colon for a prefix or it's going to be a command, and no command starts with @. So at least with Twitch, I don't think we need to care if tags capability was negotiated. We can just always support them. Right, so all this is all summed up saying messaging add Twitch TV tags capability. Or well, really, it's more than the capability. I mean, the capability is more than that. I need to say what parts of the capability we support, right? It's just this. We don't have global user state support. So add Twitch capability for private message. Global user state not yet supported. Ignored for now. Believe that's used so that the client can get its own color, but I'm not sure. Another thing to research, which means I should add that to the list. Global user state or Twitch TV tags. What else am I missing? I think tags is just those two, and this is the main one. Global user state, I think, like I said, it's to tell us what our own tags are, but I'm not sure, so I need to research that. And yeah, I'll get to these soon, probably next stream. I just need to do some research. Cool, so I have the list of things that I need to do next time, basically. We'll handle next stream, hopefully. Never say never. Never say for sure. Okay, we're going to check this in, and then we'll wrap things up. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. I'm just going to check it in and make sure I didn't forget anything, and then we'll go host someone else. Mathbot 2000. Oh yeah, that did have some changes I wanted. That, not this one, everything but that. I don't want to stage that one for reasons I explained earlier. So, okay, join leave API changed. Support, well, update to reflect API change in Twitch messaging. Yep. Now the diff should just be the channel name that I don't want to check in. And it'll be good. All right. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me go look and see who's on right now. Let's see who's streaming. Really? Adam's still going? He might be wrapping up though. Hold on. Oh. We'll go in and quickly host Adam. He's probably wrapping up anyway. We'll just say hi to him. So again, thanks guys. See you soon.